So you think your English is not good enough, right? That if you just memorize another phrasal verb, if you just learn how to use another advanced word, maybe if you use albeit, hence, or thus in a sentence, you will finally feel confident to speak English fluently, right? Well, let me be blunt. That's not gonna happen. So I'm Deborah. I've been a teacher and a teacher trainer for the past 22 years. And here in this channel, we don't just shape teachers, we guide them towards excellence. So let me put things straight here. The problem is not the grammar you don't know. It's not that extra word, that extra complicated vocabulary word that you don't know. The problem is what's happening in your head every time you have to speak English. Every time you open your mouth to speak English, you start second guessing. You question yourself, which is the correct verb form? What other advanced word can I include here? What can I make or what can I do to sound more confident and to sound more fluent in English? So if you're a teacher and you're tired of feeling like a fraud every time you open your mouth to speak English, hit the subscribe button here. So let me now tell you a story. I remember I was 5 years old the moment I first heard English, at least the first time I was aware that that was not Portuguese, that was not my mother tongue. And I remember seeing it on the TV show. There was the singer singing a song, and I felt the music and I started humming the words. Of course, not English, but just the way that I could understand them. And I remember my mom turning to me and saying, "Wow, that's so pretty. I'm so proud of you." And that was when I got my first language block. As a shy kid, instead of feeling proud of myself, I instantly shut down and felt embarrassed. Well, that's not a sad story. Okay, fast forward to many years later. I became a certified teacher. I train teachers to achieve excellence. But guess what I see more often than not? I saw the same thing over and over. Teachers with good English still feeling stuck, still avoiding speaking up in meetings, still afraid of being exposed. And here's one thing very few people talk about: your fluency is filtered. Literally. In education, we call it the affective filter. When your brain is in a state of alert, shame, or anxiety, it shuts down access to the language you already know. So it doesn't matter how many years you've studied it. If your nervous system is on alert, your English will disappear, vanish in thin air. And if we go there to my first graduation skills, cortisol will make it all blurry and make it all difficult to remember. That happens to teachers and not only students. This is not an exclusive process for students, it happens to teachers as well. That hesitation before speaking, that little panic before you answer a question in a meeting full of specialists, and that feeling of being stuck when you have to deliver a class 100% in English, especially if your coordinator is watching. That is not pure lack of knowledge. That's emotional interference. And to overcome that, you don't need another grammar lesson. You don't need to memorize just another fancy word. What you need is to start diagnosing. It's not a placement test, although it also might be a placement test, but it's about diagnosing your own feelings towards English. What are your expectations towards yourself? What do you think being fluent really means? And where are you right now? It's about setting aside emotions and looking at yourself and at your English level just like you do with your students. It's about analyzing things rationally and identifying steps you may take and you should take in order to improve and reach the level where you feel confident and comfortable speaking English naturally, without having to pause or second guess all the time, without feeling like a fraud, without feeling like a failure. In order to do that, you don't have to go outside. In fact, you need to go inside. You need to revisit your fears, your beliefs, your dilemmas, your experiences with the language. It's by reassessing and reframing all of this internal content that you will be able to actually take actionable steps and become stronger, become more fluent, become the speaker you have always wanted to be. All you need to do is to see yourself clearly. When you freeze, what happens? Like, do you freeze when you don't have any time to plan? Do you correct yourself mid-sentence and say sorry all the time? Not because you're wrong, but because you're afraid of judgment. You're so afraid of making a mistake that even when you're right, you correct yourself. Do you avoid speaking in front of other teachers because they'll notice your mistakes? That's the filter, and it has nothing to do with grammar. And here's what I see: teachers who've been teaching for 10 years and still avoid real deep conversations. They avoid connections. They avoid exchanges with other people in the group in English because they are afraid of judgment. Teachers who know the theory but can't express complex ideas in English in meetings. Teachers who keep enrolling in countless more courses in order to feel ready. Teachers who join courses at regular English schools where they have regular students, like teenage students, interacting with teachers. Completely different goals in life. Now, let me break it to you. No school will ever help you address these inner barriers. And if they cannot help you do that, you stay in the B2 loop forever. And let's be honest, B2 is not enough if you want to teach with confidence, build authority, or charge premium prices. If this video here hits home, drop the word deep in the comments. That tells me you're done with shallow progress. That shows me you want the full picture. And subscribe, because in the next video, I'll show you exactly why most teachers never reach C1 level and how to break out of that cycle starting now. After all, you're not just a teacher, you are a professional. And professionals, they don't just guess, they diagnose, they go deep. Let's go.